I want to bring in now Sarah Griswood, royal historian and author of Elizabeth, Queen and Crown. Sarah, thanks for joining us on this. We appreciate it. So we kind of want to talk about the road ahead here for King Charles and somewhat of the uphill battle he has ahead of him, considering his popularity or lack thereof, as he has now been named king, and especially after following his mother's reign of 70 years and her overwhelming popularity amidst the public in the UK. And let's talk specifically about his meeting with Commonwealth leaders today at Buckingham Palace. I know that he's going to be heading to Edinburgh tomorrow. But what did you make of the meeting today? What do you expect happened in that meeting? And how important was it to have that meeting with the leaders of the Commonwealth?
Yeah. Well, the Commonwealth was always enormously important to Queen Elizabeth, more so indeed than it was to many of her ministers and prime ministers. And I think King Charles will share that sense of importance. A few years before her death, the Queen, most unusually, declared that she very much hoped her son would be able to follow her as head of the Commonwealth. That's not a given, it's not a hereditary post, but she got her way. And of course, they are very, very much going to want the Commonwealth to continue to survive and thrive. Now, of the many Commonwealth nations who form part of the Commonwealth, a proportion, maybe a quarter, a third, a quarter, actually have the Queen as their head of state, or had the Queen. And we do know that a few of them had actually been talking about how, they wished during Elizabeth's lifetime to maintain that link because of the huge respect they had for her. Afterwards, it may be a different matter.
Let's talk about
this. Is really.
I want to dig into that just a little bit if we can. Right, the possibility of this maybe being a different matter, especially because of the connection to the Commonwealth. It seems to be the common thread was, in fact, Queen Elizabeth. And what King Charles necessarily has to do. And I talked specifically, as we heard from the Prime Minister of Antigua, saying he's going to call for a referendum within the next 3 years on becoming a republic, but remaining a member of the Commonwealth. He actually told ITV News it's not an act of hostility or any difference between Antigua and Barbuda and the monarchy, but it is the final step to complete that circle of independence. Also, the Prime Minister of Australia saying he's not necessarily going to be calling for a referendum within his first term out of respect, although some Caribbean countries as well signaling they intend to head in that direction and forming a republic. What do you make of this? How do you see this playing out?
Well, of course, Barbados already has done last year.
Right.
Charles has always said, as his mother did before him, that it is up to each country. They see themselves, the royal family, as serving. So they feel that they will serve where they are wanted, where they are called upon to do so. But alongside that, of course, inevitably runs a sense that no one wishes, do they, to be the sovereign on whose watch the prestige of the crown, its reach, diminishes hugely. And of course, as you mentioned in your introduction, there are concerns even within the United Kingdom. So really, King Charles has a very big job to do.
He certainly does, and we will be watching it. Sarah Griswood, thank you.